Hello, hello. It is me, Derek with Flamingo Fight Talk, here to talk today to you about UFC Fight Night, Perth, Della, Maddalena versus Prates. Quick thank you, really quick. Thank you to Kelby putting out a couple videos this week. I appreciate it. It's been a hectic week for me, so thank you for holding down the fort. And I did find some time to get this little main card breakdown in. So yeah, we are less than 12 hours away by the time this comes out to the fights. And this is a banging card. It's so good. But really quick, before we get into it, last week, I thought I enjoyed the fights. I might have fell asleep during one of them, but I woke back up and it was great. Everyone was crapping on the fights last week. And, hey, I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I'm a Sterling fan. But watching Sterling win that fight, that was great. That was great. That was great. It was a good card. A lot of decisions. Decisions don't always mean bad. Of course, we all like the finishes. I think there will be more finishes on this card coming up because the Aussies get down like that. Anyways, I didn't think it was that bad. If you disagree, hit me up. We'll maybe make a discussion on this. But in the meantime, let's talk about Perth. Alright guys, do we want to go top or bottom? You know what? Let's talk about the prelims really quick. Cody Steele's on it. Thimba Garimbo's on it at plus money against Jonathan McAuliffe. I don't know anything about that guy, but Thimba Garimbo, he hits hard and he's a plus 200 favorite, but he's not the best fighter. What's he currently on? I'm going to get all this stuff done before the 5-minute mark, so if you want to skip ahead, I don't know if it will be at 5 minutes exactly, but yeah, Thimba Garimbo coming off two losses. His last one was Nico Price. Not a lot of motion there, but he hits hard. Wes Schultz, I'm not too familiar with. Ben Johnson, I'm not familiar with. Colby Thickness versus Vince Morales. That's a fun bantamweight scrap there. These are the three I really actually want to talk about. So, Jacob Malcolm versus Gerald Mershart. GM3, man, I love that guy. He is so damn good. Yeah, but 12-13 the UFC. Mershart on the 4-fight losing streak. His last win in 2024. Performance of the night against Edmund Shabazian. He beat Brian Barberena that year too, and those both were great fights. And, he was also on another 2-fight losing streak in there. Obviously, he fought, one of those also was Joe Pfeiffer. Up and down. He did have a 3-fight win streak. After that comes out Shemai of Destruction back in 2020. And, he's racked up performance bonuses. He's one of those guys that's, a veteran of the game. He's a scrapper. He puts on fun fights. He is tough. A tough guy. I love GM3. But Jacob Malkoun, 5-3 in the UFC. He has losses to Cody Brundage, Brendan Allen, and Phil Hawes. He has wins over Abul Razak Al Hassan, AJ Dobson, Nick Maximov, Andre Petrosky, and Torres Finney. Those are some low-key good names in there, and he's a danger. This is bad matchmaking for GM3, I think. They're bumping up this new Australian talent in the middleweight division. Sorry, it's early, I need my coffee. But yeah, no, GM3, I hope he gets it done, but I don't think he's going to find a submission on Malkoun. And I think Malkoun's going to get that. He's probably going to get it done. Let me look at the odds really quick. Malkoun minus 1100, GM3 plus 700. You want to put a flyer on GM3 by submission, might not be a bad idea. Probably is, though. You're going to lose the money, but you can make a lot of money. That's why they call it gambling. Probably shouldn't do it. Going up to the next one, we got Junior Tafa and Kevin Christian. Christian. I don't really know too much about him. He's only had one UFC fight, and that was a loss against Billy Elikana. On the other side, Junior Tafa, Junior's not too bad, but he's 2-5. He's also lost to Billy Elikana, but he also makes it a 2-fight losing streak because you got Tuco Tokos on there. Is his best win Parker Porter? Probably. Junior Tafa, again, the juggernaut. Light heavyweight, it's a weak division. These guys are both on losing streaks, and If you want to know my actual thoughts on it, we'll talk another time about, because I want to break down these fights. But I've been complaining a few times. I've heard some other people complaining. I don't think we need a reduction in the amount of fights. Make it 10 fights a card. Fights like this, Junior Taffa and Kevin Christian, really shouldn't be on a card like this is a great card. And yeah, I get it. Junior Taffa, he's at hometown. I understand why he's on there. But he's, the co-main of the prelims, and it's two guys coming off losing streaks, but you can't call Christian a losing streak because he's lost his only ever UFC fight. You understand? So, I like Junior Taffa, even though I'm being a bit of a jerk to him right now. But yeah, these are those fights that just if it goes to decision, everyone's going to be agreeing with me on Sunday or Saturday afternoon that maybe we shouldn't be putting the guys on losing streaks this high up on the card. They should be curtain jerkers. I'm sorry. If you lose, meritocracy, right? If you're losing, you're on the bottom. If you're winning, you're on the top. But let's go on to a fight that's going to be much more exciting. We got Cam Rouston, known UFC 1-1 on Contender Series, wins over Cody Brundage, Andre Petrosky, Brandon Holmes. Brandon Holmes was his Contender Series. I'm sorry. But yeah, Cody Brundage, Andre Petrosky. His Contender Series loss was Torres Finney. Great wrestler. What happened? Pretty dominant fighter, really. I like him. He's a fun new guy. And then there's this Polish guy coming up here. He is Polish, right? I didn't look. I just saw that last name. Yeah, he's Polish. Robert Brajek, I want to say. That looks like one of the easier ones. Fighting out of Biała, Poland. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. He's 1-1 the UFC. Win over Brad Tavares, lost to Ihor Potieria. This is going to be a fun fight. I think this is going to be the action fight. Get it rowdy, because look at this journey. We have Jacob Malkoun versus GM3. GM3 might be the wily veteran. He's probably going to get got by the this younger guy. Junior Taffa, Kevin Christian, they're hoping for a big knockout from one of these guys at light heavyweight. Hopefully this doesn't go to decision. And then Cam Rouse and Brajek, that's going to be a barn burner. That's going to be a great fight. Keep an eye on that one for maybe fight of the night. And you know why they have that fight there? I almost say they should put it on the main card. And they really should, because the next fight, the losing streak argument comes in again, except it's even worse, and it's on the main card, but I get it. Ranked fighters. And hey, I made the big deal about ranked fighters should be higher on the card. Oh wait, no, Tai Tuivasa isn't ranked anymore. Good. Anyway, so yeah, no, they should be on the prelims for this. But they're building it up because we're going to have two back-to-back heavyweight fights on the main card. And it could be great. They could be great knockouts. Everyone's hoping they're great knockouts. But two back-to-back heavyweight fights is a dangerous, bold thing. And it looks like the UFC matchmakers are also gamblers. But quick recap prelims. The three main fights I actually care about. I got Jacob Malkoun. I'm not picking on the Taffa Christian, though I guess I would root for Taffa, and then Cam Rouston. So I'm going Aussie on those final three of the prelims, and let's go into the main card. We got Tai Tuivasa, Bam Bam, taking on Louis Smotherman. Tai 8-9 the UFC. He is on the 6-fight losing streak. Now, I do want to say something little interesting here. Luke Thomas kind of put me onto this through watching his coverage, when he talks about guys when they're on losing streaks and if it's getting close to the decline and yada yada. That one of the key markers is when guys start getting finished faster and faster, their time's going up. Meaning, a champion might lose his belt, he lost by decision. And then he might lose again, and split decision, or he might get the win, but then his next fight's another loss, and then he gets now he's on a 2-fight losing streak. It's never happened before. Both decision losses, and it's like, he has to buckle and get in there, and then at the next fight, then he gets submitted, and it's like, he gets back in there. The next fight, he gets finished in the first round with a knockout. He gets caught, and it's that time when you're getting finished quicker and quicker that guys really do need to look and think about retiring. That being said, it's kind of the opposite with Tai Tuivasa. So the losing streak started with Cyril gone, and frankly, he had gone on stilts in that fight. I believe that was a fight of the night. Yeah, fight of the night, and that's coming off his his win streak where he beat Stephen Struve, Harry Hunsucker, Greg Hardy, Justo Sakai, Derek Lewis. I think he has 4 bonuses in a row from those those amazing fights. A good one for him. But then he loses to Gane. Got caught in the 3rd round. Then he gets caught in the 1st round by Sergey Pavlovich. No, hey, those are 2 guys at top division. No shame in those losses. And then he got Ezekiel choked in his next fight, making a 3-fight losing streak by Alexander Volkov. That's a tough 3 finishes in a row. That's when you're like, okay, yikes. But Gane, Pavlovich, Volkov, those are the 3 guys at the top of the division. It's like, okay. Heavyweight's a non-stacked division, but not too bad. Oh, but then he gets choked out round 1 by Marcin Tybura. That's not as good. And now he gets a split decision loss against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Sorry, you're losing to Jairzinho and you're not getting knocked out. That's a bad fight. The guy doesn't do anything. He stands in front of you and then tries to hit you with a power shot. And he can, but honestly, you just need to smother him and he can't work. Yeah, and he's going to always live off what he did to Overeem's lip, but it is what it is. And then decision loss against Taliesin Teixeira in last time out earlier this year. Taliesin, he's good. He has the 1 loss to Derek Lewis when Derek Lewis really isn't much anymore. But Taliesin's good. But again, so damn, 6 losses in a row. He's 8-9, meaning he was 8-3. Much better record. And so we'll see what happens there. But Louis Sutherland, much newer to the UFC. He's actually never won in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Walter Walker and Brando Peric, both 1st round losses. 1 heel hook, 1 knockout. The guy hasn't combined. He hasn't made it 4 minutes in the UFC. So, Tai, buddy, you gotta smoke this guy. Tai Tuivasa has to smoke Louis Sutherland. Or really, there is no point in this anymore. There is no reason we need to watch this. And this is clearly to get Tai a win so he can go on another 6-fight losing streak. And what the problem is, Tai needs to get in shape. You're an elite athlete. Act like it. Getting gassed in these fights. If he could just... And, because I was saying, when he started, he wasn't that bad. But anyways, we're going on too long with Tai. Let's move on. Brando Peric, I'm not sure too much about him. He's 2-0 in the UFC. Louis Sutherland and Alicia Ellison, 2 knockouts. Performance of the night on his debut. I can't tell you too much about him other than he beat Louis Sutherland, who doesn't seem to be that good. I'm going against Shamil Gaziev. And frankly, I'm a little high on Shamil here. I think he's really good. The Dagestani heavyweight, we've been waiting for a guy like this. Fights out of Bahrain. Obviously, with everything going over there right now, who knows what he's carrying into this fight. He's pretty good. I mean, again, he did lose to Jairzinho Rozenstruik. So I do not have a lot. And again, I think he had to give up in the fight for that. Other than that, he wins all around except for his last one out against Waldo Acosta-Cortez. And, Salsa Boy, I think, is my favorite fighter at heavyweight right now, so I'm not going to hold that one against him because he's quick. He has fast hands, and that's going to be a... Waldo's hands did that to a lot of people. Like Gaziev was kind of his big test. The wrestling of this guy is good. And again, I don't know much about Brando Peric, but the fight's pretty close. Minus 135 for Brando, plus 115 for Gaziev. I'm going with the underdog on this one. I think Gaziev's going to get it done. I think he's going to wrestle him and get some ground and pound going. Might be a decision, but I think he's going to win. Odds update. Going back to the Tai Tuivasa Louis Sutherland fight. Tai the favorite at 220. Sutherland plus 180. Bethlehem wins by knockout or finish. You'll make money on that one. I'm not going to say who's going to win that if I'm putting money next to it. Let's get into this next one. This is a fun fight. Let's see if I can pronounce that name. Marwan Rahiki, I believe. Marwan Freaky Rahiki going against Ollie Schmid. Ollie Schmid coming in to the UFC, being brought up from, not the amateurs, but you know what I mean. He's has a professional record of 4-2. He was fighting out of Will it tell me? I don't know. I see some fights, FSC, SF, and yeah, coming up, I don't know anything about the guy, so he is coming up to fight our featherweight. The Moroccan Marwan Rahiki fights out of Sydney, Australia, 1-0 in the UFC, has the corner stoppage win over Harry Hardwick. He is a former beatdown champion. He looks like a former Hex champion. Guy looks good. I don't know too much about him, but I think Marwan's going to be, hey, Ollie Schmidt, it's his chance to make a name, but there's definitely the momentum behind the undefeated fighter at featherweight. The odds have it -800 for Marwan. It's one of those things where it's like, maybe they know better than me, but, if you don't know much about either one of these guys, since they're both pretty new to the UFC, that's kind of high odds to have. So, hey, maybe put a flyer on Ollie. Why not? It is a short notice fight, to be fair. All right, let's get into these last 3 fights on the card. The ones that you guys probably wanted me to start with 18 minutes in. We're talking about the serious fights now. Tim Elliott going against Steve Erceg. Tim Elliott, bro, guy is... Damn. Moment of appreciation for Tim Elliott is, fights out of Missouri, keeps it real. You know what I mean? 10-11 the UFC. That's a record that doesn't look that good. Let's be honest, but he is good. He, hey, coming off 2 wins, Suma Diraji and Kai Asakura, both performances of the night. He last loss was against Muhammad Mokaev. Obviously, he was a great fighter until the UFC cut him because he was boring. He had 2 wins before that, and he's kind of just always been that up, down, up, down. I think probably his title ambitions went away after his loss to Devison Figueiredo, which started a 3-fight losing streak. Even though he did have a fight of the night with Brandon Royval that ended in a loss, but, and that was 2019, that losing streak, but, he's come back, he's gone up, he's gone down, he's won bonuses, and that going back to 2016, that fight against Demetrius Johnson, he lost that fight. He did lose that fight, but he gave a fight to Demetrius Johnson at times where not really a lot of people could. And the reason why is because he's a tricky fighter. He is good, he is crafty, he is a veteran. And Steve Erceg has his work cut out for him in this fight. But, the odds are -200 for Steve Erceg. So let's go look at the former title challenger, even though both of them are. Steve Erceg, not a long UFC career, less than 10 fights, 4-3. Started out great with, he performs tonight, first fight against David Dvorak. He beats Alessandro Costa. He beats Matt Schnell with a performance of the night. Good, strong, bonuses, getting in there. He gets the title fight against Pantoja, loses. Okay, he bounces back against Kai Kara France, gets knocked out. Goes against Brandon Moreno, loses. He did come back in his last fight, get a win against Ode Osborne. But that's the thing, are we going to hold a guy that only has 7 fights in the UFC with his 3 losses being Moreno, Kara France, and Pantoja? Those guys are much more recently at the top of the division. We got, 2 former champs in there. Steve Erceg is, he's pretty raw still. A fight against Tim Elliott is a great fight because, just look at it. Just look at it. I'm sorry. It's this is a fight that, Tim Elliott might be able to try to get back in there. I don't think he's going to win this, but I think he is going to put Steve Erceg through the paces, and Erceg's going to have to show if he is a top 5 flyweight or if he is a top 10 flyweight. I think that is, even though Tim Elliott's occupying the 14th rank, so he could fall further than that. And, Steve Erceg's sitting at number 6 right now anyways. But, I'm sorry, that's according to Tapology's rankings. I don't know what the UFC ranks. I'm not going to look it up right now. But, it's one of those things. I think Erceg should be able to get it done. There's no reason why he shouldn't win this. But Tim Elliott is the reason why he might not win this, because Tim Elliott is damn good. Getting into the co-main, I feel bad for this one. Our favorite old guy at lightweight, since he's only 36. But he got the salt and pepper for, forever now. Beneil Dariush taking on Killen Salkid. Damn, Darush, he hasn't been the same since getting obliterated by Charles. But of course, his other losses are Armin Sarukian and BSD. So you can't, and first round losses on both of those. So his chin is, I think, suspect now. He did get the win over Hinato Moicano, but yeah, Moicano's kind of getting towards the end of it too, if we're going to be honest. Wins over Gamrod, wins over Ferguson, wins over Ferreira. Beneil Dariush is a good guy. 17 wins, 7 losses in the UFC. Dylan Salkin, on the other hand, he is a rising contender, only 26 years old, 4-0 in the UFC. He has not lost yet. I'm not even going to pronounce some of these guys because they already got names. But last two, Nasrat Hakparas, Jamie Malarkey. In 4 fights, he has 3 Performance of the Night bonuses, and he is looking for another one on Beneil Dariush's suspect chin, and I think he's going to try to repeat the half-pass move and get another head kick knockout, and I think he might get it. Path to victory for Beneil, definitely with the wrestling. He has to neutralize Killen's movement, bring him down, slow him down, and just Beneil can get to work then, and he can win that fight. It's only 3 rounds, but when your chin's gone, getting in there for 15 minutes, getting in there for 5 minutes, it's a dangerous affair against an elite striker like Killen Salkid. And I am Salkid in that fight. If it wasn't clear, I did pick Ursig as well. Let me look at the odds here. I'm curious. -500 for Killen Salkid, plus 375. That's a little disrespectful, but frankly, it's a little fair. Salkid's going to be a ranked fighter come, Saturday? What's going to be, 10 o'clock by the time of this fight? Whatever. Beneil, I think, is going to be moving on out of these rankings here soon. And, hey, best of luck to him. He's been a great fighter. He's one of the old guys that just refuse to go out. Let's get into the main event. It's a pick'em pretty much. -20 for Carlo Prates, the favorite, the number 5 ranked fighter, and then a +100 underdog for the former champion, Jack Della Maddalena. Wow. I can't believe he's an underdog. I know it's close. And I know Kelby picked Maddalena. And, he's kind of right. Maddalena's a dual threat. Prates is good, but let's talk about Maddalena. He has the wrestling, he has submissions, he has amazing boxing. He has the fight IQ, I think. I think he is a smarter fighter than Carlos Prates. He got dominated by Islam Makhachev, but a lot of guys get dominated by Islam. Jack's so good. But Carlos Prates is dangerous. Again, dual threat. Let me explain, though. He is an elite striker. He is a dangerous striker, and he has his submissions. But he doesn't really take it to the ground, and I don't know if he's going to be taking it to the ground against Jack. Maybe he can, but I don't think he has the wrestling credentials that Islam has. But Jack's best weapon is his boxing. If he wants to use his best weapon, he has to work through Carlos Prates' devastating striking range, because he got the kicks, man. He got the kicks. He uses a mostly Muay Thai style, but flashy is good. He's one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. 6-1, only lost to Ian Gary. Coming off 2 back-to-back performance bonus knockouts over Leon Edwards and Jeff Neal. And before that, 4 more performance bonus knockouts over Neil Magny, Li Zhengli, Charles Radke, and Trevin Giles. He's going for that Justin Gaethje record. More bonuses than fights in the UFC. So 7 fights, 6 bonuses. The only one he didn't get a bonus was his loss to Ian Gary, because Gary fighted. Jack Della Maddalena has to get his wrestling in there. He has to make Prates concerned about his wrestling. If he does not do that, Prates is probably going to eat him alive on the feet. And I hate to say that, because it's like Jack Della Maddalena is good. He is really good. I was kind of surprised when he got. So I was in pre-Islam when all the rising contenders were going up there, and you had kind of Bilal and Leon being the top guard there. There was just the row of guys coming up. Ian Gary, Michael Morales was much further down at the time. Shavkat Rakhmonov, Sean Brady, Carlos Prates is one of them. And these guys were just coming up. And I'm looking at all of them. I picked Sean Brady as my favorite. Yeah, he's an American. You got to root for your country, you know what I mean? When I saw Jack Della Maddalena beat Bilal Muhammad, I was like, oh, beat Gilbert Burns, he had beat Kevin Holland, he's good, talking about performance bonus. It was a fight of the night against Bilal Muhammad, but he also racked up one fight of the night against Basil Hafez, performance bonus against Gilbert Burns, performance bonus against Randy Brown, Andy Roberts, Ramazan Emev, blah blah blah. These are exciting fighters. He's only lost once in the UFC, and that was to Islam Makhachev. I had an extra cup in there. Anyways, dangerous fight, path to victory. I agree with Kelby. Wrestling. Control the range, control the pace, slow Prates down, make him tired. Can't just shoot raw. He's going to have to mix it in. He's going to have to use his boxing. He's going to have to use his wrestling. And try to get something done for Prates. You just got to keep it working. Honestly, the leg kicks is going to be I think, a good path to victory for that. And the longer this fight goes, the more Della Maddalena should be favored, but I don't think this is going to go to decision. I'll be picking Maddalena. I'm picking Prates. I think he's going to catch Jack, and I think he's going to find it. I don't know how he's going to find it. It might be a submission even if it does go to the ground. He is crafty everywhere. Thank you for watching. This was my breakdown. It's been a hectic week. Thank you again for Kelby for holding down the fort, and I know we have a little posting after this, but see ya.